So tonight we're going to start out with a blues talk with a man who has as his mission keeping the blues alive. And he's going to talk with us about how he goes about doing that. So Greg, if you want to unmute there, good. Hi.
Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Good. So if you could introduce yourself, tell a little bit about yourself, and talk about how you're keeping blues alive for us, not
Sure.
only in central PA, but in the region, and I'm sure across the nation. So.
Well, first, I'd like to say thank you for having me as a guest. And so I guess I got to go back to 1987 when I walked into a club in Philadelphia and saw a young singer by the name of Alicia Levy, who unfortunately has passed about 11 years now, and her guitar player, Mark Furman, who plays with Nanette Blue and the Sister Blues Band. And that just like, I mean, I grew up on rock and roll, you know, and I knew that a lot of rock was born out of the blues, but I didn't realize how much. Mm-hmm. And then in 2002, I mean, I went to school for radio, and then in 2002, I started with Z88.9 FM, and I was with them for 15 years. But I had a roots rock and Americana show because they had a woman that was doing a blues show. But when she retired, I started to incorporate a blues segment into my roots rock show. And all of a sudden, and I was playing like 3 songs every Sunday on my show, blues songs. Yeah. I would call it the blues brunch, okay, because my show ran from like 10 a.m. to 2. So right around 11, I would do a blues brunch with 3 songs. And all of a sudden, I just started getting record labels sending me their artist music. And I was like, gee, I can't just play 3 songs. I'll never play any of this. I'll never get this music played. So I revamped the show and I gave a half hour to the blues. And then in 2019, the college where I do the show, they decided to pull the plug on the FM after being on the air since 1995 and go strictly internet. So when they did that, I was off the air for a few months because they had to set up the studio with the CD players and the equipment that I needed because I play all CD. I don't record any, well, now I record it because of the pandemic, but before that, I would do it live. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to revamp my show and do nothing but blues. So every Saturday from 10 to 2, I do 4 hours of blues. I dedicate 1 hour from 12 to 1 to unsigned local artists from the tri-state area, meaning New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware.
Wow. So the college that you do this for, is it Rowan College?
Rowan College at Burlington County.
Yeah.
It used to be Burlington County College, and they merged with Rowan.
Oh, okay.
2 years back. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where the initials come from for the radio.
That's where the studio is located. So because of the pandemic and the college being closed, I can't get into the studio. So I built a studio here in my house where you see me now. Yeah. And I record everything here, and then I send it over to the program director, and he uploads it into the time slot that they have set up for me on Saturdays from 10 to 2.
Wow, it's fascinating to hear how places are adapting and
yes.
Making it still possible to do this.
Yeah, well, it took me a while to clean out the bedroom to get it set up. Right. It was like a storage room, and then I went out and I got my computer and nice microphone and a mixing board and a dual CD player and everything. Yeah. So the way I put my show together is, besides the 1 hour that I play from 12 to 1, which is called the local blues hour, okay, the other 3 hours, I basically will always do some new music, some old music, dig into the archives. Mm-hmm. I'll play something current from a few years ago. I focus on women artists, at least 2 or 3 women artists throughout my show, throughout the hour on each
Mhm.
hour. So I'm getting at least 10 to 12 female artists played on my show, national artists mixed in there. So I go anywhere from the 1920s up to the present day with the music I play on my show. You'll get a
And
little bit of everything.
when I look at your list of different songs that get played in the course of those 4 hours, I mean, that's a lot of blues songs. Like, about how many do you estimate you usually play in a 4 hour time?
Anywhere from 50 to 60. I probably average about 55 a show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
amazing.
come from old school
Yeah.
radio, so I'm all about getting the music out there to the people. You know,
Yeah.
back in the 50s and 60s when the DJs on the radio played the music and the kids heard it on the radio, and that enticed them to go out and buy it.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, one thing I do miss about doing live on air is when people would call me after hearing a song and they would say, "Hey, who is that?" You know, and I would tell them, or they would call me up a week later and say, "You know, I was in the music store looking for this album and I was flipping through and I found this artist that you played last week on your show. So I bought that CD."
Wow.
That's what radio's all, that's what I think radio's all about,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
And it's promoting the music and keeping the blues alive, but it's also you have so much interaction
Yes.
with
And another thing that I do on my show is I do any artist that's got a birthday that month,
mhm.
I will play their music. Somebody
Oh,
who passed away,
yeah.
like say during the month of January, I'll play a song by them and
Mhm.
mention the date of their death and how they maybe, you know, when they passed.
Yeah.
So I'll do birthdays and that. And then, oh, lost my train of thought.
The thing you do for the artists, like their birthdays, or for when people die, like
Mhm.
I guess more of those things, that how you select who you play.
It does help me to put my show together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
I know what I was going to say. I'm the
okay.
local artist. When I
Yeah.
played my local hour from 12 to 1. And unfortunately, I'm not doing it now because most of the artists are not playing out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're doing the live stream thing, but I'm not doing that. But I would put together every week or every month where the artists are playing that month. So I would play the artists that have shows coming up that week. So play
Wow.
the artists, promote their show, you know, to get the word
That
out
is
about the artist.
great. Yeah. So, I mean, you've had to adapt a little bit then, since,
A little bit.
but, oh. So I looked at your list, and it was fun to see a lot of the different people that I know that are, getting airtime on your show.
Well, artists from the Central PA Blues Society, for
Yeah.
sure. You know, you were kind enough to send me the CD.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and you played songs from that, and that is so cool.
And
Yeah.
you've had you like Peter Viteska. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you had him on
Yeah.
last month. I've been playing Peter for a couple of years now on my show.
Yeah, and he's going to be on again with us February 11th.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, March 11th.
Oh, okay.
And what he's going to do is, instead of being with his band, he's going to just play music on his own.
Solo acoustic.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
really fun sometimes, to get these guys that they have their bands, or women have their bands, but then they just do an acoustic kind of thing, and gives them a chance to do something a little bit different, and to try out some of their original songs that they're working on.
Yeah, I reached out to. I'm starting a blues a blog.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be called Inner INNER View
Okay.
of the Blues. So I'm going to be interviewing blues artists, blues record producers, record label people that own blues record labels,
Yeah.
anything blues related.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reached out to Peter, but he didn't get back to me. So I got Vanessa Collier coming in February.
Yeah, I think that new album of Peters with Grass Ain't Greener on the Other Side was just, I love that song, and it's a pretty amazing album.
Well, he's got some amazing players on that album.
He does.
You know.
Every one of them is just incredible musicians.
Yeah, and Bouget is an amazing bass player.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
And Levine on the keyboards. And he's got some
he's
talented guys
incredible.
back in the
Right. So I see, like, you have your sweatshirt, or there we go, your T-shirt. So if somebody wants to watch your show on Saturdays at 10, how would they?
They
get
could
on
go
board?
online and just search RCBC Radio, okay, and then click on the TuneIn app for the radio station.
That sounds pretty simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so RCBC Radio,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah, just Google RCBC Radio, and then usually the first thing that comes up usually is Rowan College, you know, Rowan College of Burlington County. And if you click on that, that'll take you to the link. Or you could just, or if they want to download the app on their phone, they can just go to the TuneIn app. If they have the app on their phone, they can just go to the TuneIn app and just search RCBC Radio.
Okay.
And click on that way. Or tell their smart speaker to play RCBC Radio too.
Yeah, cool. Good. So I know one of the other projects you've been doing on your Facebook is having like Tuesdays where you ask questions for people.
I was doing that only in December because of Giving Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I decided just to expand it to every Tuesday throughout the month of December. The main reason I did it was I have artists that send me double CDs and I don't need the CDs, so I figured let somebody else enjoy them.
That was a great promotion.
Thank you. Yeah, I had one of the people, I think JD actually got one, and Greg, and but I had a listener that got the answer correct from Nepal.
Nepal?
And
wow.
And believe it or not, they got their CD sooner than somebody who lives 15 minutes from me.
Wow.
I could have driven it to his house.
Yeah.
And mailed it, and it ended up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And he just got it like a week and a half ago.
That's great.
He's a blues musician too. Steve Solitist. He plays sometimes with the Dukes of Destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Steve has been on our show too.
Okay. Yeah. He's actually going to be, he is auditioning, and I think it might be tomorrow night for the Philly Blues Kings. Have you ever heard of them?
No, but I'm not originally from around here, so I'm thinking. So the Phillies Blues Kings?
Yeah, the Philly Blues Kings. They're looking for a new singer because their lead singer had gone off. She does more jazz stuff now. She left the group, so they're going to audition Steve.
Cool.
But they're a good band.
Good. So is there anything else that you would like your listeners to know about what you do? Just tune in, and I hope you enjoy the show. You know, and you know, people can always message me on my Facebook page if they have something they want to hear. You know, I will take requests and I'll give them a shout out. Well, I think Saturday is like a great day for doing it. I you know, like that's a good time to do like run errands or to do work around the house, and to have blues music to listen to while you're doing it is really energizing. And you can take me with you in your car with the app on your phone. Plugged into your Bluetooth. Yeah. Perfect. Good. Well,